turned 4 of King Phillips War. Still no church. And let's see where we're at. Well, we're at English reinforcements. Come in as usual. 2 Massachusetts. 1 of each other colony. I'll place them well, one of the Massachusetts is going to go with this stack. Yes, it's burdened by a spy, and that sucks. I'll put the other one in Boston just as a kind of a backup protection. My Rhode Islanders have that off of my... They got room for another one here. And now the Connecticut, well, I gotta put that here, and I'm gonna probably have to ship the Connecticut forces somewhere else if I'm gonna use them. Okay. Now where are we? We're on Indian diplomacy. We have a number of things that are available right now. Provisions lost is up to 6. Which means we can actually go for just about anything. So we could start throwing some pressure on Massachusetts in the north up here that we haven't been able to do with the Abenakis. We could pressure Connecticut and force them to fight, and they have more units. We got the Nipmunks, which up here could pressure on Massachusetts. One of the problems that I have, though, is the Neantics are a fairly small tribe, and the victory points or production losses, I'm not sure which it is kind of close there. So there's a chance that I wouldn't get to use them at all. I don't think they're terribly worth bringing in at this point, though, even though they could wipe out a lot of Massachusetts territory to my advantage very quickly. It's a hard decision. I think I want to go for something that's going to have more force. And total unit wise, I think I like the Nipmunks better. So I'm going to go to them. Now I could bring my troop with me, and that would provide more protection to the it would reduce the danger here, basically. Let's see, what do the Nipmunks get? Initially, they're going to get 4 and a Sachem. Let's see. They're this pink color. They get 2 reinforcements per turn, so they'll get them right away, actually, by what my looking up of the rules seems to indicate. I don't think I need a lot of force there, so I'm going to just move Philip. And we're going to put the Sachem here. We're going to put Philip back here to start taking on some of these Massachusetts back end areas. You're not gonna be able to knock Massachusetts out of this game. Get some more here. Got a war party here I can add to that. Yes. I think I'm not going to get a lot of attack chances, so I'm going to upgrade the size of these forces. I may have to take some of them out of there, but that's okay. And now muskets. I can automatically put them here. Where else might I want to? Up here to defend doesn't sound terribly valuable. These guys have them already. I think the best I can do is actually here in Connecticut. It's not where I'd want them, but I want to get them on the board. Alright, now we move on and start with the Indian movement in combat, and we'll see that right away. Well, the big effect that happened is Plymouth's been destroyed, essentially, which is worth just one victory point. It's treated like any other settlement, except if I can get Boston to, the natives can win the game. That adds a real threat to the situation right now. On top of that, some of the other battles were kind of inconclusive coming through here. And even here, coming down the river for the first time, it was not really much. And in Deerfield, Philip only managed to damage the settlement. He didn't get it. So he's done less damage this turn than he has in other turns. One of the battles, this one, didn't happen at all. Oh no, it did happen. Didn't it? Yeah, some units got destroyed and a spy was placed. I think it was this one that didn't happen at all. So, you see there's this real risk whenever you roll those dice that something's just not going to happen. Your plans are just going to get laid aside that way. Alright, let's go on to the colonial turn. Okay, well, to finish things off, the colonials managed to launch a number of battles. This one was here against this, not over here against Montauk. That, I think, ended up in a massacre, and the Indians got another victory point, and they're climbing up there quite a bit. They got another victory point in order, but the troop was brought back to life, essentially, by the massacre. Over here, I may want to advance here. The Massachusetts troops, with their spy, managed to take out that village and get the points off that. And here Winslow, I believe, failed to actually have his battle. He tried to slip up and over. Some thought about bringing the Connecticut troops up to Plymouth, but no point now. I mean, right? The door's been left open, the horses have escaped. I don't know. It depends on whether Boston is vulnerable, because they could still move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to attack Boston. And if they can take Boston, the game is over. Right now, the situation is all that's standing in their way is the garrison of Boston, whatever might be able to intercept, and then Winslow being able to intercept them coming up. All a lot of iffy things, but it might be worth their chance to make a run for there. Alright, on to the next turn. So jumping into this, the winter turn, there was still no church. This is the worst possible result for the colonials in terms of church. He will come in next turn. Reinforcements, we saw the colonials place some. King Philip went up and recruited the Abenakis. Force-wise, he had to strip a unit out of here that's attacking Deerfield. He can't leave a 3-point stack there. He's going to have a hard decision here in terms of movement and combat for the Indian player in general. Only gets 3 actions this time. This is not the turn to go marching up for Boston, probably. It's a turn to collect up the points that are easily theirs. You'll see Connecticut's thrown some extra defenses in Hartford that may make attacking there less attractive than it would be otherwise. see what we're going to do. But you know, that primary focus on Rhode Island, it looks like it's failed. There's still a couple of colonies left in Rhode Island, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to knock them out. The Pocasets have already been knocked out as a nation last turn, and that's weakening their position. They're not going to be able to get replacement points easily. Try to figure out what I'm doing. Not a good turn for the Indians. They chose 3 attacks. 2 kind of simple ones here. Should be very easy. In both cases, a battle didn't occur. And the third one coming down here, they wiped out the troops, got a victory point off that, but didn't manage to take Hartford itself or burn it or anything. And they managed to pick themselves up a spy, which is never a good thing. All right, well, we got to go on to, I guess, the English movement in combat. Now here, they're only allowed 3 attacks anyway, so it's no big deal. The only other effect here is that the pit movement costs are doubled. Again, not a big deal when I'm positioned for the attacks already. Making that big jump across would have been hard. 2, 4, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 8. He couldn't make it up to Boston to make that attack this turn, so he's holding off, and that's why the winter is an important factor in this point. We're also going to see the winter attrition after this, and we'll go into that in detail. It only happens once per game, but it can have a definite effect. We'll see. So the English only landed 2 battles this round. They moved forces from Salem, Massachusetts down to Plymouth using the sea movement. Now it's not clear whether the port's destroyed there, whether there's an allowance for interception there. These things are a little weird. Let me take a look at the interception in particular. It looks like this will be an attempt, an ability to intercept here. And I think the Sachem wants to do that if he can. He would not have gotten there. Okay, but the other battles, which I've already resolved, this one had 2 interceptions coming in, which allowed, I'm sure you can intercept across the body of water. I was counting on it, so I'm going to let it stand. See, this is going across the water here, and it's not regular river movement. So he's actually would have been forbidden to do that. Now I was counting on that being there, so I'm going to let it stand, as I said. But actually, you couldn't do that kind of interception. I wouldn't have been positioned the way I was. I would have been pushing forward with him, probably. The other battle is here into this village, and some damage was done in both sides, but no real advantage gained. All right, let's take a look at the winter effects in play. We have this winter attrition, which is somewhere in these rule book. So we have to count the total number raised, and that's how much it's going to be lost. For every 2 settlements raised, the English player loses a unit. For every 2 villages, the Indian has to remove 1. Well, the provisions lost isn't that high. There's 7, which means 3 English units are going to be removed, and 2 Indian over at 4. So these have to be chosen, and basically I think they can come from just about everywhere, and I don't think they're going to have a lot of effect, to tell you the truth. For this very reason, let's take a look at what we can do. Over here, I can remove a full-strength Indian here. Actually, better yet, I can remove this one, which is kind of annoying anyway. I'll remove this one, and I can remove one of these. Now, during reinforcements, these are going to come back. They're not actual deaths, so they don't really have the same effect that maybe kind of devastating effect I think they're supposed to portray of the winter effect. Now, let's take a look at the colonials. They may have a harder time figuring out what they want to lose. They definitely want to lose somebody here from Saybrook. They're not happy with what they've got here, and they want to reinforce that. So that's one. They've got two more they can get rid of. Marlborough isn't that terribly valuable to me. I can reposition that over to Boston. And then for a third one, Pawtuxet isn't doing me a lot of good. This is probably more harmful, actually, to the Colonials. Both because of the higher number, but also because they may not be getting, they may already be getting reinforcements. Well, no, their pieces were all there. Nah, they're fine. The only effect here is actually Rhode Island, which was getting one anyway. But they're kind of overextended, so they didn't really need that. I could have taken from somewhere else instead, had I wanted to. All right. Well, that's the end of that. And I think that's the end of the turn. We checked the victory conditions, and clearly we're not there yet. So we'll be moving on to turn 6, and Church is coming in this turn. We'll see what kind of effect he has. Up this goes.